Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, welcome. Happy equinox. We did it. We're in there. It's autumn, it's spring, wherever you are. I hope that you have set your intentions. You're getting to that manifesting. And everything that you call into your life comes right your way. So, if you want to share, what do you have planned for this next cycle of time? I myself, I'm just doing the work. That's the big thing, is I'm preparing for winter, both in the physical realm, right? Getting the gardens put away, things harvested, processed, canned, all that kind of stuff. And I'm getting ready for the cold months, the incubation period, the, research and reading and innovating and dreaming and those quiet months. I look forward to it. Oh, do I look forward to it? What are you looking forward to? I want to hear. I need some just positive energy in my life, I have to tell you. Have not been feeling the best. Going back and forth, having a fever, not having a fever. Taking all of the remedies. My morning supplement stack is like basically, I think, about 13 supplements deep at this point, and not getting as sick as I did last year yet. That's good, but just kind of fighting the crud off. So please send me some love and some prayers. I don't always like asking for it, but I do. I want a successfully uneventful flu season for myself and for my family, if possible. Thank you, universe. I love you. I'd like to be able to smell things this year. So anyways, Capricorn, we have the high priestess. Lots of intuition, lots of that beautiful feminine energy, the waters of life, that Sophia. Do you know about Sophia? You should go look her up. Look up Sophia Goddess or Sophia Feminine Consciousness. And go start reading about this beautiful concept, right? This is the feminine aspect of God, right? And so, the high priestess is the embodiment of, all the goddesses, of course. They are the devotees of the goddesses. They are the physical representations of the goddess, right? And who is the high priestess? She is all of us. So we all embody this. And that's what this card really reminds me, is like, dude, all right, things might be going a little hectic. Maybe somebody lied to you. Maybe they are, messing with you. Maybe they are really affecting how you perceive reality or your life or your abilities or whatever it is. But remember yourself. Remember yourself. That's what this card says. Remember yourself. All right, let's take a look. We have a pterodactyl right at the top. I don't know that I have a huge alignment with that. What it reminds me of immediately, what I get from this energy is special interests. Maybe something that like you were super into as a kid. Maybe you were a dinosaur kid. I was Dinosaur Riders kid, if you remember that. That was a show. It was like G.I. Joes that rode on dinosaurs. So, I'm a pop culture kid for sure. But I do feel like it's not so much about the dinosaur or the pterodactyl, although maybe that was your favorite one, the flying guy. But I feel like this actually represents more of the return to a deep interest. And I don't think that's something you've had in a while. I don't think you're somebody that's maybe prone to having a lot of fixations or obsessions aside from order, aside from making money, your work, your business, your career, that kind of stuff. Now, this does not feel like it is involved in that directly. This feels like it is the emergence of something that really just has taken you in. What is it that you are focused on? I mean, I really do feel like this is something where it's like you've just been autopilot or really heavily focused on resources and, maintaining your life, your domestic, paying your bills, making monies, all that kind of stuff. Not a lot of extra room or mental bandwidth to be doing a lot of scouring of the lands looking for something that might be cool. Like, you are not a person, and we all know this feeling, right? When you have like 4 subscriptions to different like streaming services, better be YouTube is one of those. And you are like, yo, I have all this opportunity to watch whatever I want, whenever I want, and yet you spend that whole, whatever amount of time after everything is done and the kids are in bed, the grandkids are in bed, work is done, the house is cleaned up and put away, and you're sitting down and you're gonna watch something, and you get on there and you forgot to already decide what you were gonna watch, so then you're looking and you're looking and you're looking and you're looking and you're... That's the feeling. You give up, you just watch something that you've seen 50 times. Gilmore Girls. That's where I'm at right now. That's my feel-good place. Like, I gotta go to the Gilmore Girls when I need a little bit of a boost in my life. So I feel like for you, it's usually like every once in a while you get that little spark of interest. I'm gonna go find something I want to do. Maybe I'll start playing tennis. Maybe I'll learn how to play chess. Maybe I'll start reenacting the Renaissance fair or whatever, something like that. I'm only laughing because I think it's so cool that people do reenactments and stuff. It seems like a lot of time and energy, but it seems pretty cool. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just jealous of people that have really involved things. I had to pick spirituality, religion, and the occult as my obsessions. So you're in that place. I feel that you found something. You're locked in. You're not searching. You found the thing. It found you. Okay? So that special interest kind of feeling is definitely rising. But there's a lot of turmoil too. What is going on here? We have a person here. It looks like they're arguing with this person over here. There's a baby in between right here. Sorry, let me get this thing. A baby in between the two. Okay. It doesn't feel like this is your argument, but it's somebody that you love, definitely. Now, there's somebody in the background that feels like they are really kind of devilish. Usually, if you've watched my readings, I will always say the devil archetype is one that is of rebellion. It is pushing the envelope. It is saying, I'm not going to do this just because you told me to do it. Like, you raised me in this way and I've, abided it long enough. And now I'm absolutely rebelling and going my own way and being my own person. But then there's the devil that is like the just garbage person, right? There is the person that comes in, they're, I don't know, bored with life. They're unable to establish something for themselves. They see you, your family, your job, your, creativity, your beauty, your unique aura, and they just start honing in on that and start finding ways to kind of crawl into your life like a little rat, and no offense to the rats. I love rats. Not as pets though, not as pets. Although, if you do have rats, big ups to you. They're really cute. But yeah, it just feels like somebody who is icky and lurking. Right? Icky and lurking. Now, I don't think that this is your situation again, but I think that you are seeing all of this kind of play out. And I wonder if this is like one of your friends and you're watching their relationship and you're watching, somebody kind of circle the thing, trying to infiltrate, trying to, I don't know. It could be that they are trying to, seduce or have an affair or, whatever it is. I don't know. But I do feel like for you, there's this very protective instinct. Okay. And I feel like, and here we go. Look at this mad face right here. I feel like this really brings you into a place of being quite angry with at least one party involved in this part, because there is a child. It seems like there's probably a child in there somewhere. Now, it could be that it is, this is like your grown-up baby, your baby girl is all grown up. Now she's married to some dude that's like, not your favorite. Let's just say that. I'm not going to go in on him, but, not your favorite. And you see something's going on. But here it is. You have to be careful about what you say to somebody. You have to be careful, being the messenger, the bearer of bad news, or, getting yourself in a place where it's like, oh, you're always just looking for something to, negative about my significant others, or you're just, like, you don't like them, so you're just finding reasons, and that kind of thing. And I feel like for you, you've been through this with this person. This isn't the first time that maybe they've made kind of a bad choice about partnership, and now the stakes are higher because they have a kid involved. They maybe have multiple kids. So I feel like for you, this is a time where you're, first of all, I think that, there's much need for grounding. Okay, coming back into yourself, making sure that you're in a place that feels kind of, stable, consistent, you're even keel, head is on your shoulders, all that kind of thing, before you make any kind of decision going forward. But I also feel that, maybe having a conversation with somebody who is not involved at all, like a super third party, like somebody at work that's never even met your kid, that kind of thing, and have a discussion. I think that for a lot of Capricorns, I hope I didn't say Cancer at the beginning. Oh my gosh. Now I'm like, did I say Cancer? Capricorn. I hope I'm saying Capricorn this whole time. Anyways, it can be really, it can be hard to talk about private stuff with people. I think that oftentimes you're just kind of like, keep your head down, deal with your own stuff. You don't want to you're not trying to put family business out there on the street, that kind of thing. So I really feel like this is a time where, yeah, you do need somebody to like talk about this verbally, like uttering it, not just letting it exist in your head, and not texting it either. There's something different about the mental process of texting and reading versus standing and talking to somebody, right? Or, maybe you're on the phone. But the verbalization, it matters. I don't know why. I'm not I'm not a, neuroscience, or I don't even know what that would be. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. Can you tell? But there is something about uttering the words, having the thought birth into a hopefully somewhat coherent, right, expression. And so that's important. And then finding your place here. How will you engage this or not, right? Or not. So I feel like this is a situation. It brings some anxiety. We also have a volcano down here. So it's volatile. It's volatile. And whoever this person is, they need to go. Get out of here. I don't like that. I don't like your energy. Okay, we have an older masculine person here. We have the eyes, the nose, the head. The mouth would be here. And to me, it looks like maybe there's some balding and hair on the sides. We have the number 2. And I feel like this is somebody who... We have snakes, and we have a person that looks like they're kind of in like a boxing position, like... It feels like somebody, maybe a grandfather, maybe uncle, passed away. Maybe they were a boxer. Maybe they were like a real like fighter. Maybe they were somebody who was like a police officer in the military. Something where there were expressions of physical, what's the word? Conflicts. But oddly a very calm person, right? And I feel like in a way this is somebody that you try to exemplify in your own life, the way that you conduct yourself. And I do believe this person really instilled in you some amount of like stoicism, right? So like you're not somebody that's super reactive externally, but I do feel like at times it's almost a torture because you internalize the energies of others and the behaviors of others, but you don't necessarily always feel comfortable talking about it or, even saying or like, you're somebody that like you don't want somebody to know how you feel like ever, even if you're very emotional in that moment. Like if somebody saw you crying, I think that would be something that it would almost like you couldn't get over it. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's a Capricorn trait. I cry all the time and I'm an ascendant Capricorn, but I also, for as much as I cry like every day, and I'll cry like in the middle of the grocery store, I don't care. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry. But I also do feel shame about it in some way for when people witness me and if they say anything about it. Even if my husband notices I'm crying, which he does, obviously I cry a lot. He doesn't always react anymore. And it's not because it's not because he's like, oh God, Lenor's crying again. No, it's because he knows I cry and I don't necessarily like to talk about it. It's just a function of my body that is, responding to interior things that are happening. And sometimes that means something. Sometimes it's just purging, I guess. I don't know. But I don't think it's always a bad thing. I do understand what it feels like to not want people to see it. But I feel like this is the work here. If It's okay for you to be whatever you are in that moment. And how you feel is not who you are. It is a passing thing. And if that's how you have to cope with it in that moment, then it's okay. It's okay. I'd rather you cry than, bottle it up. I'd rather you cry somewhere inappropriate than, shove it down and it's stuck in your chest for the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that in this time and with this person coming through, there's this distinct impression that I have of this: don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. Don't be afraid to show a little bit of who you are and how you deal with things. There's nothing embarrassing about it. It does not make you a weak person. So if you need to cry, if you need to scream, if you need to jump for joy or hug somebody, then do it. Do it. Do it. All right, we also have a plane. Whoa. I just washed away part of the top. But we have an airplane. Okay, so I do feel like there is some actual travel happening. And I was just staring at that for a minute. Now, I wanted to hurry up from doing the tea because I do want to look at this. We're into the next season. I want to ask about what the heck is going on in this next little period of time. What is your next move? What is the world going to give to you? What is the universe showing up with at the doorstep, right? So we're going to do that real quick. We'll just start. So we have protection, okay? Protecting of what? Fulfillment, flattery, health, okay, drama, okay, negotiation, and then let's just do one more on there. Optimism. Okay. So I do feel like there is a sense of, and we're going to kind of put these over here, a sense of needing to protect your health. That's the biggest thing right here. And we have the number 16 with that. So protecting your health. Okay. Being proactive. If that means getting back into a intentional movement cycle, maybe there have been some lifestyle choices that have changed in the last period of time and, they're just not really working for you. The big thing that I feel like, though, is that this is about your stress levels. Okay. We always think of okay, there's mental health stuff and then there's the physical stuff. Well, it all flows together. There's the physiological connection is profound, of course. Stress is the ultimate killer, isn't it? So I do feel like this is the big thing. Protecting your ease. Protecting your feeling safe in your own life. Feeling like you are motivated, productive, you are consistent, you are maintaining, you are flourishing, all that. Okay. Now, I do feel like there is some drama and it's around flattery of some kind and maybe even feeling a sense of fulfillment from that. I do wonder maybe if you have a significant other or somebody in your life who's kind of, jealous a little bit. You don't necessarily go out of your way to get compliments or to get noticed or anything. But whatever it is that you do or you're doing in your life, the energy that you're putting out, you are attracting people. And there is a sense of flattery happening. And does that feel good? Probably, yeah, a little bit, right? But I do feel like you do have that person that is dramatic. And it's like, if they see you get any kind of little bit of happiness, they want to knock you down a peg, just to like let it be known that like, all right, well, I see you, you know, people are liking what you're doing, or, you know, you're looking real nice lately, or, you know, whatever thing you're creating, people are responding positively. And this partner or this person in your life just cannot, because they're emotionally immature, I imagine, cannot be nice about it. Or they just don't even, like, they act like it's not going on. They won't even say anything about it, right? So, you know, I'm not saying it's the end of the world. It doesn't feel good, though. You know, I don't feel like this is, like, somebody who's, like, the worst person ever. But I do feel like, you know, they're putting their own stuff onto you, and that does affect you, okay? Here's the deal, though. I feel like you are not willing to negotiate your optimism or your excitement for life, or like this thing that's happening where you're feeling profoundly changed and motivated, and you're, you know, I don't know, just like feeling yourself, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling like, you know, something positive is like finally taking hold, and you're not willing to compromise on that. Like, you're not going to make yourself smaller for this person. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your freaking husband, you know, or your wife, or your mother, or your best friend, or whoever. And maybe they are going through it. Maybe they are worried about their work, and, you know, what are they doing wrong with it? How can they fix it? How can they get it back to where it needs to be? But they're mad at you because you're living in your authenticity and you're flourishing, and people are drawn to you, right? And honestly, I feel like you're not really even interested in the people. Who cares if they are flattering you? They don't actually really know you like, you know, your closest people do. And yet there is this sense of revolt in your closest circle, and not to the point where everything's falling apart, but to the point where it's like, bro, come on. At this point, can't we just be cool and support each other and like each other and uplift each other? Because this is silly. Who wants to have to constantly be worried about how somebody is going to react to like your success, your growth, your healing, your glow up? You know? And then it comes around to a point where you start thinking, you know, what are we going to do going forward? I cannot get this to look right. I'm like, come on, man, get lined up right here. But yeah, you got to figure it out. You know, we either heal together, get this thing, you know, forged in our own ways, but also, you know, parallel walking beside each other, or we friggin' don't, dude. You know, or we don't. And I think that's about where you're at with that. Okay. Now, let's see. We have the number 92. 92, not 93. It's 92. Oh, come on, get up there. 67, 92, 67, and 14. 14. All right. Well, Capricorn. Hopefully I said Capricorn at the beginning. I hope. I'm crossing my fingers. This is a Capricorn reading. I promise. But I do. I love you. I appreciate you. Whoever that energy coming through for you is, they also have They have something, a yellow bird. I don't know. I saw a yellow bird in a medium thing the other day too, when I was communing with somebody. Somebody's like auntie or something. Yellow bird. I feel like it's the health. It, like, to me, it has to do with health. And it really does have to do with, like, this, like, not that there's something happening right now, but if you don't switch it up and figure out how to have, like, a little bit less stress and just being depleted all the time, it's not gonna hit you at first, but it will catch up to you. And I feel like that's the big thing here. It's just like you are getting to the age where you really need to focus on, you know, maintaining some kind of calmness in your life. And I think for you, that's not hard, but it's like the people that you let into your life that I think is the big deal here. Okay. All right, Capricorn, I love you. I love you. I love you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Good night.